Hey guys, just a really quick PSA before we start today's video. I just want to remind everybody, please be kind and humble, okay, towards one another. There's been a lot of makers who have been kind of attacking content creators lately, and there's also been some content creators who are using their platforms to be passive aggressive towards specific individuals with snarky comments, and none of that is necessary, you know what I mean? So like I say at the end of my videos all the time, be kind and stay humble, okay? When you do things like that, it doesn't show the character of the person that you're targeting, it shows yours, and it's not a good look. That's it. I just wanted to say that. Also, we just lost an OG soap maker a couple weeks ago, Karen Moreland of Eden's Secret. God bless her family and rest in peace, Karen. I learned a lot from you. She's the queen of soap cupcakes. With all that being said, please be kind and stay humble to everyone, everywhere. Let's get into the video now. I did extensive research on L-ascorbic acid, penetration enhancers, and their percentage in vitamin C formulas. One trusted source suggested that a formula should have 45% water and 39% glycols in a vitamin C serum, stating this is a very common approach in cosmetic chemistry to stabilizing ascorbic acid serums. However, after adding 15% L-ascorbic acid to that equation, it only leaves 1% open for additional ingredients to be added. I adjusted my ingredients accordingly to include all of the ingredients in Skinceuticals formula, plus a couple extras for pH and preservation. Making this dupe was fun, but keep in mind that Skinceuticals has a patent on their formula. We cannot make this product to sell, only for personal use. No one has any idea of what the actual formula percentages are. Below is my best guess based on the ingredient list and what I know to be the usage rates of the ingredients listed. Changing one ingredient or the percentage of an ingredient or the pH level of the finished product does not get you off the hook from patent attorneys. In 2018, L'Oreal Skinceuticals sued Drunk Elephant for patent infringement. It was later settled out of court, with their terms remaining confidential, and Drunk Elephant's C Firma serum remaining on the shelves. In the United States, patents are valid for around 20 years from the first date of filing. L'Oreal filed their patent on 1/11/2005. Their patent ends on 3/24/2025. Water-soluble L-ascorbic acid is the most researched and effective form of vitamin C for topical use. It's known for its ability to brighten skin, stimulate collagen production, and protect against environmental damage. It's sensitive to light, heat, and air, which can degrade its potency over time. Our bodies are unable to synthesize vitamin C, so we need to use skincare products or ingest foods high in vitamin C, like citrus fruits and vegetables. Though oral vitamin C doesn't necessarily have the same impact on skin compared to topical applications. Vitamin C concentrations are generally higher in the epidermis, the outermost layer of the skin, compared to the dermis, the deeper layer of the skin. If we rub a water solution of vitamin C on our skin, it kind of just sits there. That's due to the skin's protective barrier, which is watertight seal, preventing substances from entering. So we need a penetration enhancer, such as propylene glycol, which is commonly used as a penetration enhancer in topical formulations, helping ingredients cross the skin's barrier. According to PubMed, propylene glycol can extract cholesterol from the stratum corneum. Another penetration enhancer is ethoxydiglycol, well established in cosmetics, helping ingredients penetrate deeper into the skin, thereby improving their efficacy. It also helps dissolve other ingredients and prevent them from crystallizing out of the formula. Ethoxydiglycol is considered a safe and well-tolerated ingredient in topical formulations, with numerous toxicological studies demonstrating low irritation.
For maximum effectiveness, a vitamin C serum should have a concentration of 10 to 20%, be formulated with L-ascorbic acid, and be packaged in a dark, airtight container to protect it from light, heat, and air. Be sure to use superfine powdered L-ascorbic acid, as this is the best way to ensure it can penetrate the skin's barrier. pH should also be taken into consideration, as L-ascorbic acid remains active in a low pH of 3 to 3.5. Air, light, and a drifting pH can degrade the vitamin C, causing oxidation, which can be irritating to the skin. As L-ascorbic acid is highly unstable, you may choose to use derivatives. Keep in mind, however, that these ingredients must be converted to vitamin C by the skin before they can work. Here are some examples of some vitamin C derivatives. Lower concentrations of L-ascorbic acid might not provide the desired benefits, while higher concentrations can lead to skin irritation. 15% L-ascorbic acid plus 0.5% ferulic acid plus 1% vitamin E is considered the gold standard in vitamin C serums that dermatologists and other skin care professionals recommend be used every morning like a prescription to achieve healthy skin. This is Skinceuticals' patented formula. L-ascorbic acid is a powerful antioxidant that neutralizes free radicals, which are unstable molecules that can damage skin cells and contribute to aging. Vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant, protect against free radicals, moisturizing and potentially reducing signs of aging and improving skin texture. Ferulic acid, a powerful antioxidant that neutralizes free radicals. When used with vitamin C and E, ferulic acid enhances their antioxidant properties, stabilizes them, and boosts photoprotection. So now that we've discussed L-ascorbic acid in depth, let's take a look at the ingredients in Skinceuticals C E Ferulic Serum. Their ingredients are water, ethoxydiglycol, ascorbic acid, glycerin, propylene glycol, laureth-23, phenoxyethanol, tocopherol, TEA, ferulic acid, panthenol, and sodium hyaluronate. Based on their ingredient list in order of predominance, here is my best guess at a working formula for C E Ferulic Serum. Let's make it.
Okay, friends, we are over here at Creation Station and we're just going to get going. That intro was pretty lengthy, but well worth it for all the information. I spent a lot of time researching on that. Let's just get going though, okay? I'm going to go ahead and give you all the percentages of each one of the ingredients that I'm going to be adding today. And again, this is my best guess on the C E Ferulic Serum by Skinceuticals. First thing I want to do is I want to take my glycerin, and in here I have 6% of glycerin. To that, I'm going to be adding 0.2% of high molecular weight hyaluronic acid. I want to get that in here first and set that off to the side. Give it a little stir. I'm basing my percentages of every one of these ingredients as they have them listed in order of predominance on the back of their packaging. So glycerin was quite far up on the list. All right, we're just going to leave this sit off to the side momentarily while we do our water portion. So in here, I do have 45% of distilled water, and to that, I'm going to be adding 0.2% of disodium EDTA. That is your chelating agent. This is not in their formula. I add it just because this is a water-based formulation, and I know that I need to add a chelator anytime I'm working with water. I also heated up this water because in my personal experience, takes me a lot longer to dissolve the disodium EDTA than it does the tetrasodium. Tetrasodium, I've never really had a problem with it dissolving, But with the disodium, it takes a little bit of doing. So I warmed up my water just a little bit. All right, to that, we are now going to be adding another ingredient that is not in their formula, but I am adding it, and that is 0.3% of sodium citrate, and that's because this maintains and stabilizes your pH and avoids pH drift. So that's really important to me when I'm working with acids in particular. All right, and then next we're going to be adding panthenol at 0.3%. And I'm going to turn on my hot plate because I'm going to be getting ready to melt some ingredients over there. All right, we've got all of our powders mixed in pretty nicely. Okay, so next I'm going to be adding some TEA, and that's going to raise the pH of the solution. You can use a 10% lye solution if you'd like. I just find the TEA to be easier. The reason why we need to raise the pH is because L-ascorbic acid typically has a very, very low pH, roughly around 2 to 2.5 pH. And so that's way too acidic. So we need to raise this pH. All right, that's incorporated pretty well. And so next we are going to be adding that beautiful ultrafine L-ascorbic acid powder. You can get the superfine powder at Lotion Crafter. I did not get mine there. I actually wound up having to grind mine. So I put that in my grinder that I just used for my cosmetics. And then after that, I put it in a mortar and pestle and continued grinding it so it would be a little bit more fine. But you can just go ahead and buy, the fine powder over there at Lotion Crafter. Did I give you guys a percentage? I'm going to be putting it up on the screen anyway. So for the TEA, the triethanolamine, that's 0.3% that I'm using. And here with the L-ascorbic acid powder, your vitamin C powder, I'm adding this at 15%. All right, let's give that a stir. All right, we're going to go ahead and set this aside with our glycerin and our hyaluronic acid. Just set those aside just for a minute because I want to start getting all of the other ingredients up on top of my hot plate. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Loreth 20, and I am adding 1.7% of Loreth 20. And this is an emulsifier and a stabilizer. After that, I'm going to be adding one of the stars of the show, which is 1% of vitamin E. This is your D-alpha tocopherol. Next, we're going to be adding 22.5% of ethoxydiglycol. And so this is a solvent, but this is also going to reduce the water activity. And, if you're working with this on its own in some type of a different formulation, mix it with propylene glycol, which is coming up next. All right, and here is the propylene glycol. This is also a solvent, but it's also a penetration enhancer. So we have the propylene glycol at 6%. All right, we're going to go ahead and put this on top of my hot plate and get these melting down. Turn it up just a little bit. All right, we're going to get these melting down before we add the ferulic acid, so hang with me. Okay, this is all melted down, so we're going to take that off the heat. We can turn this off now, get that out of the way. We're just going to leave this off to the side for a minute for it to cool down a little bit before we add that ferulic acid. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and take our water solution and we're going to be adding that glycerin and hyaluronic acid. All right, let's get that mixed in. Okay, that's mixed in pretty well, so let's put that off to the side. We're going to bring back our oil phase here, and to that we're going to be adding 0.5% of the ferulic acid. So again, the patented formula from Skinceuticals is 15% L-ascorbic acid, 0.5% ferulic acid, which is what I just added here, and then 1% of vitamin E, the D-alpha tocopherol. And that is their patented formula. And that's mixed in really well. We'll just leave that off to the side because lastly, we're going to go ahead and add our preservative, which is phenoxyethanol at 1%. We're going to put that into the water portion. Okay, we're ready to combine these two phases now. So again, let's go over the all the ingredients that we've added so far. So we start off with glycerin at 6%. To that, we added 0.2% of hyaluronic acid. That is the high molecular weight. Then we started with our water portion, which was 45%. Our chelator, which was the disodium EDTA at 0.2%. Followed by sodium citrate, which helps to maintain and stabilize your pH so that there's no drifting. That was at 0.3%. Panthenol at 0.3%, which is your moisturizer, humectant, and it's also a soothing agent. And then we went ahead and we added 0.3% of TEA. I can't say that word. Triethanolamine. It's your pH buffer to raise the pH before we add that ascorbic acid, because ascorbic acid is relatively low on the pH, about 2 to 2.5. So we added the TEA at 0.3%, mixed all that really well. Then we added our L-ascorbic acid, our fine, superfine powder at 15%. Set that aside. Set the glycerin and the HLA aside. Then we worked on our oil phase, which was Laureth 23. That's your emulsifier and stabilizer. We did that at 1.7%. Our vitamin E, which is your antioxidant, it also helps to stabilize your vitamin C. 1% on that. By the way, whenever you're using actives in your products, always use an antioxidant, especially with acids. All right, following the vitamin E, we have our ethoxydiglycol at 22.5%. That is a solvent, and it also reduces water activity. After that, we added our propylene glycol at 6%, which is a solvent, but it's also your penetration enhancer. Then after we melted all of that down, we added our ferulic acid at 0.5%. That also stabilizes your vitamin C, and it enhances your vitamin E. Then to our water phase, lastly, we added our preservatives, which is our phenoxyethanol at 1%, okay? We are ready now to start combining our two phases, and we're just gonna do that slowly. All right, everything is really looking great. We are going to do a pH test to make sure that we are not above or below where we should be. We are aiming for 3.5 on the pH. And this looks beautiful as a serum. I am going to be putting this in a treatment pump and not a dropper bottle to try to reduce the amount of air that gets inside of the container. With a dropper bottle, you're going to be taking that off and on all of the time, introducing air. So we're trying to avoid that. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and test this pH and see where we're at. So as you guys can see, we are right in the middle between 3 and 4. So that's about 3.5. And I'm going to call that really, really good. We nailed that one. Okay, the only thing left for us to do is to go ahead and put it in a treatment bottle. If you don't have one that's dark or colored, or like in this case, it looks like this was kind of like painted even. I didn't paint it, but whatever. You can go ahead and take tin foil and wrap it around your bottle. If all you have is clear bottles, you can just go ahead and do that. We just want to minimize the amount of oxidation that's going to happen. And light will definitely do that. A little too much because I need to get that dropper pump in there. Okay, let's go ahead and get that on there. Okay, and there we go. Give it a little shake. What I want to do is go ahead and put a label on here because only keep this for about 3 to 4 weeks max, you guys, okay? Because we all know that vitamin C, serums or any other product that you're going to be making with vitamin C, they're extremely unstable, okay? So I would never, ever keep it more than like 3 to 4 weeks. Excuse me. And again, only for personal use. You can't make this and sell this. There's a patent on it. This is for me, for my own personal use. So I just wanted to go ahead and mark what it is, put the date that I made it so that I know I can toss this if it gets beyond that date, okay? Let's take the gloves off and just see, pun intended. Got a little bit of soaping going on there from that Loreth 23. But it's not terrible. It's rubbing in pretty well. Feels very nice on the skin. There you go. This will be really nice for Mr. Soap Chef for his little spots on his face that he's getting. All right, you guys, that is going to do it for today's video. If you would like the written document of this, it is in a Word document with all of the information that I put in the intro of the video. It's going to be all in one cohesive document. You can go ahead and grab that over on Patreon. Otherwise, you guys see up on the screen, I've been putting the amounts and the ingredients and why we use them and their percentages, okay? So if you did enjoy the video and you like this content, please consider subscribing, okay? Like, comment, share it with your friends. All of those things help the channel to grow, and it helps me to continue to bring you content like this. Before I say goodbye though, thank you so much to all of my Patreon members, to all of my channel members, and a special shout out to those shout out tier level members over on Patreon.